What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video I want to show you guys how to read news. This is extremely important for you guys to understand so you don't blow your accounts and you don't have to deal with slippage, and that's something that I'm going to explain to you in just a second. So the first thing that you guys want to do is go to forexfactory.com. Once you get here, all you need to be worried about is this information right here. All this up here is irrelevant. You guys can do your due diligence if you want, but it's 100% pointless in my opinion. All we're looking at is this calendar right here. Now, as you guys are looking at this, you guys can see the date that the news comes out, the time, the currency of the news, and the impact. So if you guys go to this little filter button right here, click it, there's different impacts of news. There's high impact news, which I mainly focus on. There's medium impact news, and there's low impact news. There also are event types. When I'm looking at the event types, I usually have all of them clicked. With the expected impact, I only usually have the high impact news. Now, medium and low impact, they don't have the biggest impact on the market. That's why I don't look at them. Lastly, when it comes to currencies, I usually just have the USD clicked. Now with me, I only trade indexes. The S&P 500, ES, YM, the Dow Jones, and NQ, the NASDAQ. These are US-based indexes. So that's all that I'm going to be looking at when I am trading. So after you go and you put all these filters in, you're going to click Apply Filter. You're going to click More, so you can expand this right here. You can even click More again if you want. And you can see once again the date, time, currency, impact. There are details in this folder. Sometimes it will tell you the usual effect. Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So if it's saying that it's good for the currency, that means that it's most likely going to push it up this specific news event right here. So earlier today, we had CPI come out at 5:30 a.m. And usually when you see a bunch of news events coming out at a specific time, it is good to just stay out of the markets. You don't want to be trading when there's all these news events going on in the market. CPI is one of those news events that I have traded in the past and I have lost a lot of freaking money. So with my personal experience trading CPI, I stay away from it. Another news event that I stay away from is FOMC. And then there also is a news event. It happens on the first Friday of every month, and it is non-farm employment change. So those are three major news events that you guys should stay away from when you are trading. That's just my personal experience. They freaking will make the market go absolutely insane. So I want you guys to look at something right now. At 5:30 a.m., that's PST, we had CPI come out, core CPI, unemployment claims. Look when I go to the market right here, and usually you can tell if a news event came out, and I look at higher time frames when I'm doing this, like a 30-minute, 1 hour, 15-minute. All you're looking for is massive wicks and big bodies. So look at this massive wick right here. What is this time? Look on the bottom of my screen right here as I go over this. 8:30 a.m. I have my time on TradingView set to New York. So I'm EST when I'm looking at this. But for Forex Factory, when this news event came out, CPI, all this right here, this was 5:30 a.m. PST. So look at what happened in the market right here. It completely pushed the downside at first and then pushed up. Notice how big this wick is and how much damage it did compared to all these other candles right here. So when you're reading this news, it's very, very important that when you see a big news event coming out, just stay out of the market. Now, let me explain to you guys something called slippage. We're going to go to like the 5-minute time frame for this, so I could give you a better example. Okay, so right here, this was the news event that came out. 8:30 a.m. Right here, look, this is 8:25 to 8:30. After that, that candle pushed up at first and then dropped to the downside. So ideally, let's say that you were in a long position on this trade. Let's say you were going long at the close of this candle right here, the 8:25 to 8:30. Let's say your take profit was all the way up here. You expected it to push up. But let's say your stop loss was right let's say right at this low, at this previous candle's low, yeah, you would have been in profit as the trade and this candle pushed up when the news came out. But ideally, you guys need to understand that when news is coming out, it is moving at such a freaking rapid pace that there is not enough time for the brokers to basically process your order when it hits your take profit or stop loss. And that's what slippage is. So ideally, let's say that you were in this trade, you were in profit, you're stoked, you're freaking jumping out of your seat, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, within a couple minutes, boom, the market collapses to the downside. And some of the time, the market can do these moves within a couple of seconds. So imagine if your stop loss was 12 ticks, and instead of it closing you out at 12 ticks, let's say it closed you out at 25, 30 ticks, 40 ticks, something crazy like that. And I have had this happen a lot of times when I would trade news. I remember there was this one time I was trading CPI, and I thought that CPI was going to push the market up. I was about to make $10,000 on this trade, and I had a stop loss that was set to only lose me $500. Dude, I woke up the next morning and I lost $3,000. I had my stop loss in place. I did everything that I needed to. The trade didn't go my way, and there was so much volume injected into the market when the news came out that it ran past my stop loss, and the broker that I was using couldn't process that it had hit my stop loss slippage, and it freaking made me lose way more money than I anticipated losing. So it's honestly extremely important that you guys know about these news events and you avoid the ones that are too powerful, like I mentioned, CPI, FOMC, NFP. I would stay away from those 3 news events. And you guys can go through, like, dude, you guys can go back in time, go to September, the last month, August 13th through September 10th. Look at maybe PPI, then look at core retail sales. All you need to do, let's go to a recent one right here. So what, it's 11th today. Let's go to non-farm employment change on September 5th. So let's go to minute 15. Go right here. We're going to go to September 5th. Go to right here, September 5th. Where's the news event that came out 5:30? Right here. So now we can basically go back and backtest. We can look at previous dates and specific news events that came out, and we can get data and be like, okay, well, when NFP comes out, it does have a pretty big impact on the market. I've noticed a good amount of times. I'm going to avoid that. But then you can go and look at other news events like Jolt's job opening. Let's go to 10 a.m. EST, September 3rd. September 3rd. We're going to go to 10 a.m. right here. So this is Jolt's right here. You guys can see it did have a massive impact as well. So a lot of the time, these news events, they're going to be from 5:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's PST. So just keep an eye and be very weary of those times. And I'm going to give you guys a little hack right now. A time that I like to trade during the most is from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. PST. That's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. EST. That window of time, there's usually not a lot of news that occurs during that time. In the market, it's 30 minutes after the market opens. So during the market open, the market's super rapid. There's a lot going on. A lot of the neophyte beginner traders are trying to trade at the market open, versus if you give it like 30 minutes to kind of warm up and break in, you'll see a lot more feasible setups. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do. I also do offer one-on-one mentorship. So if you guys want that, click the link in the description and book a call with me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.